Hello and welcome back to Clownfish TV. It is me, Geeky Sparkles, and it's just me for this video because I wanted Kneon to do it with me, but he's just like, it sounds like a girly video, but it's really not. It's talking about, it's basically this woman mad about dudes not wanting to date her. And her friends who think that they're the pseudo Sex and the City crowd can't understand why men aren't just lining up to date them other than sleep with them, and they don't understand why. So I was hoping to get like a guy's perspective on this for this video, but he wouldn't do it. So if you have perspectives or thoughts, please share them in the comments, because I'll probably ask you what you think on this as we go, because it's really like, wow. This thing, first of all, reads like a novel. There's so much to unpack here. It's ridiculous. And I got it from Twitter, and this guy on Twitter, James L. Nuzzo, PhD, he said, he sums it up by saying the female author who A, was in an open marriage and divorced her husband after deciding she wanted to be with one of her other male partners who never wanted a committed relationship with her. True. B, says that men are what is rotten in the state of straightness. True. C, ridiculed men over dinner at a vegan restaurant with girlfriends. She did. They think they're Sex and the City crowd. D, which is the fourth one, I guess, says that the men that she wants are not wanting me badly enough, not communicating with me clearly enough, not devoting themselves to me. She totally says it. And he's like, I can't figure out why she's struggling to find men who want to date her. Yes. And we're going to talk about all of this. So before we get into it any further, please like and subscribe. If you do, I'll give you a woohoo. Woohoo. And we're going to talk about this. So New York Times Magazine puts this piece, as like the one person describes it, reads like a diary instead of an article about this woman and why women are fed up with dating men, and now they're calling it heterofatalism. You know, so what do we do with our desire, because they're fed up with dating men because men aren't just bending over backwards to give them everything they want and making their lives all about them. There's a reason dudes aren't dating right now, lady, and there's several reasons for it. One is the unrealistic expectations. Two, you know, they don't want, a lot of them, some of them do, I guess, but a lot of the people don't want women who have just been like around the block a million times and, you know, thinks open relationships are fine. You want them to make you their priority, but yet you were in an open relationship on your husband and thought that was fine. I mean, there's a lot of issues here. So this is Christina, I don't know how to say her name, Zeskova. Sorry if I pronounce it wrong. I'm not good at names. So she starts out, or no, it says Jean Garnett. The illustrations by her. Okay, Jean Garnett is this woman. Okay, my apologies. So she starts out talking about how she was making out with the guy and sleeping with him. Okay, so the stranger arrived at the bar, as I intended him to. So he had to wait on her. He had the kind of face I like. And he had been a little difficult to pin down, which I like. And then, you know, basically she goes to this place, makes out with him, takes him home, sleeps with her, tries to chase after him. And he's like, I'm looking forward to see you again. He texted me. And, but I have intense anxiety today, so I need to lay low. And then she goes, I understand, but I didn't. Because, you know, guys aren't allowed to have anxiety. Guys aren't allowed to feel anything other than intense desire for this woman. You know, maybe he's making it up to get out of it. Maybe he legitimately has anxiety issues. I see a lot of people with anxiety issues, mental health issues, depression, anxiety are on the, you know, rise in our society. There's a lot of reasons for that. It's very possible. And I love how you have a certain generation that they need mental health days, but it's not okay if he needs a mental health day. So what does she do? What does she do like any other normal woman? She goes with her friends to a vegan restaurant to talk shit about him. First of all, she was mad because I was, you know, looking forward. It's not long. A man should want me urgently or not at all. I was about to collapse into a ritual of frustrated horniness when a friend urged me to join her 2 other women for dinner. So I'm horny, so I wanted him to call me back. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of guys out there that will gladly service you without any kind of commitment. But you said you wanted commitment, and that's the problem. Of course, he has anxiety, one of them says, a therapist. Oh, God, here we go. Who sat across from me. That's life. That's being alive. And going to meet someone you don't know well. Yes, anxiety is normal. People handle it different ways. Maybe he needs a therapist. Who knows? It's called sexual tension. You stay with it for a minute, you might get some. And then they go on about this, you know, guy, this other friend that she was at the restaurant, and she was dating a guy from another city, and then he can't see you and he ghosted her because he'd been too anxious. I love it. You know, it could be and it likely because these women seem like a bunch of trouble. It might be an excuse, but it also could be very valid. I know, like when I met Kneon, I actually met him online and not in like one of those dating sites or something like that. It was completely accidental. They existed, but like I used to make fun of people who met online, and I met him online on Yahoo Messenger of all things. I was looking for people just to talk to that like similar things that I did. And it wasn't just him. I talked to like lots of girls and lots of other guys and stuff. It wasn't just him. But I remember seeing his picture and thinking, oh, he's so cute. Anyway, so the point of it is he had to psych himself out was going to psych himself out to meet me. If I'd left up to him, we still would not have met probably because he kept finding he was just really nervous about it. And and if you like, when you get to know him, there's reasons. He has good reasons. I can understand it. So, it was funny. My sister and mother basically forced me to go there because they were afraid of, I said this before, he joked with my sister without me knowing it and told her he was a Vietnam vet with a metal plate in his head. And he wanted to know, I was the same age as his daughter. And he wanted to know what she thought about some things, and it freaked her out because she was like, wait, what? And that's just a sense of humor, but he shouldn't have done it. So they had me go meet him, and I kind of like told him I'm here, and he kind of freaked out because I told him the day before I was coming and he didn't believe me, but he needed time to psych himself out. That's just how he is. So I can understand. And as a woman, I get anxious. I would get like, I don't want to leave or have a panic attack. How come it's okay for me to be that way, but it's not okay for a man to be that way? That's not really fair. You know, people are different. It's okay. Then they're talking about, you know, we were talking to ourselves about men's ability to man up and screw us. We were 4 women at a vegan restaurant in downtown Manhattan. Well, that's part of your problem right there. We knew what show we were in. We're Sex in the City, basically. I think that they think they're Sex in the City. No one cares about that anymore. There's talk about how men need to justify their phallus. You know, from a child's point of view, it's I get what mom's for, but what are you for? Oh, really? I get what mom's for, but what's dad for? No, you have 2 parents, and a lot of parents, you know, work together, and kids will go to mom and dad both, and mom and dad both step up and take care of kids. So you clearly have no children. You wouldn't know this. You're already treating men like they're there for their dick. You just say it out loud. You just want to sleep with them. They get that. It's coming across. You're horny bitch. They know it. It's coming across. They're just probably like running from you because they're like, you know, as I slept with you, which was probably not smart. And now you're being kind of clingy and you're freaking me out, you know, kind of situation. They were making jokes about men and, you know, I'm quite susceptible to penis. Well, you know, relatable. I worry that in some state of nature, I might have just automatically kneel to the prettiest one. The prettiest penis? What? When did men get so anxious about desire? Asked the therapist. And they said it was women, they were put on notice they can't just get drunk and grope us. You just get done saying, basically, you just want screwed. And then you're like, they're anxious because they can't just grope you. Yes, they are. You kind of got it right. Men don't know what they can and can't do. Because before, you know, there were lines that were drawn. But now it's like, you can say yes, but yes doesn't even mean yes. And even if you say yes like 3 times, then you can say later that you said no. And they could be destroyed for it. You could say yes and then do all kinds of stuff, get out right there, and then decide the last minute no. You could accuse men of whatever, and you know it's very concerning for guys. I have a son. I can understand why he'd be concerned because you could do everything right and still be accused. And yes, there are some terrible men out there that, you know, do things they shouldn't do. But for the most part, that is not the majority of men. Most men don't behave that way. And you're just got done telling how you're just taking them home and sleeping with them, making out with them in bars, and then going on about how, well, they're on notice, they can't grope us. Well, I don't think they have to worry about that with you. You're just like begging for it as soon as you meet a guy. And then this woman, on top of it, okay, this is what she's behaving like. They probably found out about her history. She's got divorced because they had an open marriage, and she decided to go after the one guy that she liked better than her husband, and he didn't want her. So they said, you know, she has a type, gentle, goofy, self-depreciating, rather deferential, a passionate humanist. Oh my God. A sweet guy, a good guy. You all say you want good guys, but then you're not nice to good guys. He tends to signal in various ways and all this other stuff. Anyway, she had a guy, her marriage ended because she fell in love with another man, Jay, who she basically had more fun with him and went after him. And basically he didn't want her. You know, they got down to it. They had an open relationship. She was with him. And throughout a year and a half, he saw each other. He continued to gesture his incapacity to commit. He kept telling you up front, you're just a fling. You're married to somebody else. You were She was married to somebody else. You could gladly be the other guy because no strings attached. But she tried to add strings and he said no. But she made clear to her by her own admission the entire time. What? Because you're you? You're you. He's supposed to just be like, yeah, you know what? You can divorce your husband. I'll take you. Just the arrogance of these people. Then they're talking about her one friend. They go down about her one friend who was dated a lawyer. Okay, she had to make sure they got in there as a lawyer. They had 3 dates in. The sex was great. I'm like, you went on 3 dates and you were sleeping with this guy? And then, you wanted clarification. They wanted clarification about there's some kind of time when they can meet because they didn't understand he's busy. And then he was like, oh, that's too much kind of thing. It's not going to work. Our communication styles are different. It's like, you're a booty call, sweetie. You were a booty call. As soon as you started wanting more, our communications styles are different. You keep claiming you want the good guys. Then you keep picking these people like this guy was a lawyer. I'm guessing that had more to do with him being a lawyer. And you're thinking cha-ching, cha-ching, than it had to do with him being a good guy, in quotes. All right. So they get down here. They're talking about being disappointed. And they have a word for it. Heteropessimism and heterofatalism, which some scholar shit chick decided that was the way to go. Basically, they're talking about men can't man up, and they don't really explain what it is. So they get down. Here's a friend about the lawyer, and they're like, it's a nightmarish part. So much of the rejection is being cast against her as women eager for relationship. Yeah, because you act like one. Then they go on here about how they just can't keep doing this and how it's too hard, and they wish they could be lesbians, but they're not. And, and they're like, is heterofatalism a useful concept? No, not really. It's a complaint as feminist pedagogy, and that the bitch is inherently transgressive, a form of resistance. It's not that hard. Not that hard. Y'all are acting like total morons. You all are acting like catty bitches. You all are acting like, your needs are the most important thing in the room, that they should be obsessed with you, that they should be all about you. It should be everything about you. And I don't hear talking about them other than wanting their penis. I don't hear you talking about them about what's going on in their life, about making fun of their anxiety. Why would someone want to date you? You make fun of them when they have anxiety issues and you make fun of them. You say you want a good guy and that you're type, but these good guys have to be all about you. So do you want a good guy because you want a good guy, or do you want a good guy because you think that you're gracing them with your presence and they can be all about you? Because that's all I'm hearing is all about you. It goes on and on and on. This whole article, I'm not even going to read. I mean, look, it's like a book. It's like a book. And I'm talking about, she keeps sleeping with all these dudes and they don't want to commit. I'm like, well, maybe, here's not thought. Stop just fucking these guys as soon as you meet them. Maybe if you stop doing that and then they have to, get to know you first, you get to know them first, and there's a relationship built on that first before you're out there just giving it away to everyone, you wouldn't have a problem. Because I can tell you, guys anymore don't want a girl who's been with like 30 different people. It's just not, they OnlyFans people, like, you have a lot of guys line up for that, but most guys are like, oh my God, could you imagine being like the 30th guy in, the last guy in? It's barf inducing. All right. They're talking about men struggle to communicate in romantic relationships as widespread. There's actually a name for it. Normative male, I can't even say it, alexithymia. It's a condition of being unable to put words into emotion. So it's an actual thing. And men, you've always joked, like men are, from Mars, women are from Venus. There's a different communication style. That's the way it always been. But, I found if you just be like upfront and you just be clear and you just be like, very like communicative about what you're thinking and what you want, not to the place where you just like talk their ear off and then drive them insane, but like say, instead of being like, and I do this too. Kneon sees this is why he should be here, because he could get words in. Like I'll say, it's fine, and it clearly isn't fine. Girls, we just need to say no. I'm not fine, and here's why. Because guys tend to want to fix things, and they want to be things to be clear. They don't want to have to try to read your mind. All right, I'm gonna actually have to after this article. I'm gonna try to be more clear with Kneon. Because I know I'm guilty of some of this sometimes too, but it's not that hard. You just have to be clear. And the answers might be what you don't want to hear. You want to be clear. I am interested in you for a relationship. And they might say, you know what? I don't feel the same. I feel like we are different people. I feel like it's not going to work. And that's fair. It sucks, but it's fair. Just like it's okay for a woman to tell a dude, no, man, you're not my type. Or no, I don't, it's not you, it's me. And if it's okay for you to say it, why isn't it okay for them to say it? That's what I don't understand. So they go on and on. They were talking about, about how it's a problem because, you need men for a heterosexual relationship, but, they're unavailable. And it just might be they're unavailable for you. Because you guys seem like so much work. It makes as a woman, you're making my head hurt. It's mostly just her talking about all the people she's dated and all these people she's slept with and her friends and all the people they're with and how they think they know everything. And, it just goes on and on. I'm not even going to read this whole thing, but you can go read it yourself. It's just, a good man is hard to want. A good man wrote in a group chat. A hard man is good to find, said another who knows I haven't had satisfying sex in a minute. These are the comments, I guess. A man is hard to find good, said the previous man's girlfriend. Oh, for fuck's sake. Look, you're basically horny slut. I'm going to slut shame you because you are. You're married to somebody, you wanted an open relationship, you went out and found somebody else you thought you were going to hook up with who didn't want you. And now you're just mad at the world because a bunch of guys will sleep with you, but they won't date you. Part of your problem is you're too damn easy. I don't care how smart you think you are and how many awards you've won for writing. Not for this one, clearly. You're too easy. You think too highly of yourself, and it's all about you. When a relationship is give and take, especially if you're married or you're in a long-term relationship, you always, even you have one, it's always the giver, one's always taker. It's never going to work. You both need to be givers and takers. You need to find something that works for you. You need to be about the other person as much as they are about you. It sounds to me like all you care about is that they sleep with you and they worship the ground you walk on. And that's your definition of a good man. I'm married to a good man. He never acted that way. My mom's married to a good man. He never acted that way. I have lots of friends who are married to good men. And there are lots of good men out there that women ignore because they don't have the right kind of money or they aren't the way they don't look as good as they want them to or whatever. And sometimes it's really funny because the women are more, less attractive than the men that they're dissing. Sometimes they have anxiety issues. It's okay for them to have anxiety issues. If it's okay for you, it's okay for them. But maybe if you just stop, giving the milk away for free, and maybe if you just stop and find somebody you actually like and connect with and try to form a longer relationship than you just slept with me and then I'm not hearing back from you in a week and I want more dick, then maybe you'd find a good man. I don't know. Guys, please tell me in the comments what you think about this. You can go out and read this article the whole way. I'm not reading the article the whole way because it's just a nightmare. It's the trouble with wanting men. And you can look at this and see it and read it and see what you think and comment. But I think this woman needs to get a reality check. And I think she needs to tone down her expectations and her narcissism. So please like and subscribe. And I will talk to you later. Bye.
For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.